Welcome back to the corner of the internet where we live for the stories that make your heart skip. If you're new here, welcome to Turkish series Stars, and if you've been with us, you already know we don't come empty-handed. Today we're opening a door to something intimate and unexpected, a secret present that Alina Boz arranged for Alp Navraz. Not any ordinary present either. This one was specially commissioned from someone abroad, chosen with a precision that can only come from knowing a person to the core. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, now's your chance. Turn on the bell, settle in, and get ready for a revelation that has fans holding their breath. You've seen Alina and Alp together, on sets, in interviews, in those fleeting, unguarded moments where their chemistry speaks louder than words. Their connection has always felt like a beam of quiet respect wrapped in warmth, and it's exactly the kind of bond that can inspire a gift that isn't about price or noise, but about meaning. That's why this story matters. When a present is commissioned from a foreign creator, it signals intent, curiosity, effort, a desire to bring the rare into the orbit of someone you admire. And the rumor we've been chasing suggests that's precisely what happened. The whispers say Alina went searching beyond our borders for something that wouldn't sit on a shelf like a trinket, but sink in like a memory. Before we dig into what that gift could be, let's set the scene. Alp Navraz isn't just another screen favorite, his name echoes in places far from home. His work has pushed itself across languages and time zones, and that kind of reach changes the way people see you, and the way you see yourself. It shapes tastes. It invites influences. On the other side, there's Alina, deliberate, elegant, often private, known for choosing depth over spectacle. She's the kind who watches and remembers, the kind who notices what others miss. So if Alina chose to commission something for Alp from a foreign hand, it wasn't a whim. It was a map of shared conversations, of things she's heard him say, of small tells in the way he looks at a piece of design or pauses in front of a painting. Now, in any story like this, there's a moment where speculation begins to swirl. We usually prefer facts. But when the most reliable whispers start aligning, it's worth paying attention. What we're hearing is that the gift in question is a piece of art, not mass-made, not a tourist's keepsake, but something with weight, both emotional and aesthetic. The person behind it? A non-Turkish artist, or a collector with access to the kind of work that doesn't appear in window displays. Imagine Alina looking ahead at her calendar, weighing travel plans and filming dates, and still carving out time to coordinate with a stranger in another country, speaking a visual language that would mean something only to one person, Alp. What kind of art are we talking about? That's where the room fills with ideas. It could be a sculpture that feels like it was cut from the same quiet strength he carries. It could be a painting layered with echoes of roles he's brought to life, captured in colors that hint at places they've seen together or dreamt of visiting. Maybe it's a design object, custom-shaped, a single piece that feels both modern and timeless. Alp's style leans toward clean lines and grounded elegance. You can see it in the way he dresses and the corners of spaces he allows into his public eye. A piece that speaks softly yet stands firm would fit him. And you can imagine Alina knowing that instinctively. Our information points toward Europe. No names, for now. Discretion is part of how this story has stayed intact. But the trail seems to pass through workshops with a heritage of detail, the Italian craft of form and texture, a French eye for balance and light, perhaps the Spanish pulse of modernism meeting tradition. Each possibility carries a story. A small studio, a master who signs with a single initial, a family atelier where materials are touched by the same hands that touched the generation before. Alina, mindful as ever, would have chosen not just the object, but the journey behind it, the origin, the method, the meaning stitched into it by the person who made it. What makes a present like that special to someone like Alp? It's not how much it costs. It's the echo of a conversation at the end of a long day on set, when he said which books make him think in color. It's the way he lingers near framed photographs, noticing angles and shadows. It's how he lifts a cup in a quiet cafe and watches the light move on the table, absorbed, present. A commissioned piece says, "I see you." It says, I listened. It says the moments we share have a thread that can be woven into an object and kept. There's also the symbolism of going abroad. The world feels smaller when you travel to give, or when you bring back a fragment of time from a place where neither of you have roots, then build your own story on top of it. It's a private adventure, even if it happens by email and video calls. In a global industry, where faces are everywhere and moments are rarely just yours, the act of seeking something singular has its own romance. For Alp, a man whose audience spans continents, a gift with that horizon baked into it makes sense. It honors the path he's walked, not loudly, but with gravity. Could the piece carry hidden meaning? That's where fans have started stitching theories together. Maybe it folds in a motif that both of them associate with a specific project. Perhaps there's a line etched somewhere, a phrase only they would recognize. Art is often a code. You can read it a dozen ways until the person who knows says what it really means. Alina has always had that aura of quiet intention, of keeping the loudest truths close. It's easy to picture her guiding the artist towards something that tells a story only when you're ready to hear it. Of course, if we're being responsible, we need to remind ourselves that stories like this ripple through the same sea where rumors drift. But when the same threads keep returning from sources who rarely miss, there's usually a reason. The pieces line up. The timeline, the discretion, the silence that often follows a surprise meant to be kept. And if you're wondering whether we tried to chase down every hint, you know we did. We spoke to people who know people, and the same suggestion kept rising: a foreign commission, a meaningful work, chosen by Alina for Alp. So let's imagine possible forms. If the piece is sculptural, it could be a small work with weight in the palm, smooth to the touch, designed to sit in shifting light and change mood as the day moves. If it's a painting, maybe it stays just this side of abstract, with contours that suggest rather than announce, letting Alp find new details with each look. If it's a design object, perhaps it serves a purpose while being art. A lamp that glows like memory, a vessel carved with lines that echo a coast they once visited, a desk piece that sits between pages and pens he uses to prepare for roles. The European clue has its charm. Think of a studio tucked down an Italian lane where stone and metal become stories. Or a Paris loft dotted with canvases, where a colorist chases dusk. Or a gallery in Barcelona where wood and glass are fused in ways that seem impossible until you see the join. The mystery is part of the magic. It keeps the gift from becoming content too quickly. It gives it a heartbeat that stays quiet, protected. Why would Alp treasure this? Because it wasn't picked, it was pursued. Because it reflects effort he didn't ask for but will feel every time he sees it. Because it reminds him of the way Alina exists in the spaces between their busy lives, present, perceptive, gentle with what matters. We've watched him evolve, project by project, widening his range while keeping that grounded presence that anchors his roles. An artwork that mirrors that balance, grounded, yet open to interpretation, would land exactly where it should. Let's pause on privacy. Has Alp shown it? Is it somewhere visible, just beyond the edge of a photo? Nothing definitive yet. And that, in its way, makes the story richer. Not everything needs to be part of the feed. Some treasures are meant to live where only a few people can see them, in a study, by a window, beside a stack of scripts, near a chair where you go to think. It fits that if this gift exists, it's there, not flaunted. The rarest gestures don't need an audience to matter. Now, we know you want specifics. You want the name of the artist, the city, the medium, the exact shade of the ribbon. We're right there with you. But sometimes the most honest thing is to admit that the cloud cover hasn't lifted yet. What we can say is that the idea feels like something only Alina would carry out in this way, with patience, with taste, with an eye on what will last beyond a moment. And we can say that if Alp received such a gift, he would understand it for what it is, a conversation that will stay, long after the candles are out and the day's noise has faded. Let's revisit the flow of what we've learned. The whispers center on a unique piece of art, arranged abroad, meant for Alp, chosen by Alina with the care of someone who believes meaning is the point. We've considered what form it could take, how it aligns with his sensibilities, why a European source would match the story, and the symbolism of crossing borders to bring something back that isn't a souvenir but a secret. We've treated the rumor with respect and restraint while acknowledging how many small confirmations nudge it toward the rail. And here's the part that brings it home. We often talk about glamour as if it's the brightest light in the room. But the truth is, glamour is a quiet intention made visible. A gift like this doesn't shout. It settles. It deepens a story that's already being told between two people who understand not just the glare of the industry but the shelter of a shared world built behind it. Alina's gesture, if this is indeed what happened, is a step in that world. And Alp's reception of it, perhaps kept private for now, is a response that meets it with equal grace. So where does that leave us? Waiting, maybe. Watching, patiently. Searching the edges of frames and interviews for the hint of a piece that wasn't there before. Listening for a casual mention of a trip, a studio, a meeting that sounded like nothing but meant everything. Until then, the beauty of this story is the way it reminds us what care looks like when it chooses art as its messenger. It's also a reminder that not all gifts are meant to be public. Some are designed to be lived with quietly, to gather meaning as days pass, to become part of the fabric of a life. If you've stayed with us this far, you are the reason we love doing this. Tell us what you think. What would you imagine Alina picked? Do you see it as a sculpture, a painting, a piece of functional design? What hidden phrase or symbol might be tucked inside it, waiting for only them to recognize? Drop your thoughts below, you know we read them all. And if this story pulled you in, give this video a like so more fans who care about the details can find it. Share it with someone who loves Alina and Alp as much as you do. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Turkish series stars so you don't miss the next time a whisper becomes a reveal. Until our next deep dive, hold on to the magic in the quiet things. Sometimes the biggest gestures are the ones that stay between two people. And sometimes, just sometimes, we get lucky enough to glimpse the outline.